hopeful by the end of this. We'll see where it goes. But look at what we're doing right now. Like, these mics in front of us. You got your mic over there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And on the other end of this computer, there's 500-something people listening. Several thousand that will see it as it goes through Facebook and does its rounds and everything, right? How fucking crazy is it that we're living in this world right now? Like, dude, we're worker bees. You work at a restaurant. I work at a fucking store. And we're sitting here having legitimate conversations about class, about potential. Like, isn't that gives me hope if nothing else does.
Well, yeah, I don't
This cannot be silenced.
Oh, it can.
It can't, though, dude.
Censor the internet like
No,
China.
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, dude, because, dude, they can try to censor the internet, but I'm going to tell you something. They censor all the major platforms, it'll just go to forums. It's never going to go away. The seed is already here, and no amount of crazy shit is ever going to make it go away. Because even if they beat it down, stomp on it, and burn it to the ground, you know, like when there's a forest fire,
yeah,
and they wipe it, and then the 2 weeks later there's little saplings. That's what this is, man. And it's hopeful to me to sit back and just the fact that we're here having this conversation, and we're just worker bees. 100 years ago in 1920, do you think, I mean, yeah, there was a labor movement, but it was nothing like this. They didn't even see it as clearly as we see it now.
Yeah.
100 years before that, a lot of people had no concept of questioning the divine right of kings. Mm-hmm. And you've probably seen that meme where it's like, just like the peasants felt like it was inescapable, the power of the kings, it's the same way with capitalism. We live under capitalism in these current systems, but everything will change eventually, you know? And that gives me some hope. All right. All right, let's get zen, Johnny. Let's do it.
Pull hands on.
We are the podcast. You ready?
Let's do this.
All right, let's do it. All right, everybody. Welcome to the Entitled Millennials. This is episode number 27. I'm your host, Double D, and I got my co-host here, John Boy Wild, as per usual. And by the way, Johnny, that is a really nice pride shirt.
Oh my god.
I love it. It looks good, dude. Representing, dude.
It says Bernie Sanders is magical and he's riding on a unicorn with a rainbow on him, okay?
Yeah.
It's a magical shirt.
Yeah. It's nice. It's
my
good to
sweatshirt.
it's good to have solidarity with our LGBTQ brothers and sisters.
Yeah. You're a piece of shit.
So, yeah. Anyway, guys, I want to start this show out by giving you guys a big thank you. 6 months ago, we started this podcast with 0 subscribers, 1 subscriber, 10, and now here we are about 6 months later with 530. And it's been a long and a hard road. We've put a lot of work in and gradually gotten better over these last 6 months. But as much as this is our podcast that John and I created and sit down and do every day, this podcast belongs to you guys too, because
not us, you.
Not me, us.
No, not us, not me and you. Them.
You, us, you guys. But seriously though, I really appreciate it. We're right on track to hit 1,000 as our 1-year anniversary goal. So try to get to 1,000 by July 1st. We're on track, but we are still a little bit behind. On average, we're getting about 100 every month. I think we need to step it up a little bit. So one of the biggest things you guys can do if you want to help us grow is go on your Facebook Messenger and reach out with a link to this podcast or another one of our videos. And ask 10 people to subscribe. And if all of our regular subscribers do that, I mean, you know what I mean? That'll add up pretty quick, because there's about 100 to 200 of you guys that watch the show pretty religiously. So, guys, thank you so much for being part of this community. Thank you to everybody who comments regularly, gets involved, shares us out, likes the videos. It seriously means a lot. And when we started this thing, we're still really small, but I had no idea it was going to get to where it's at with the Facebook page is taking off. We're on pretty much all the podcast platforms, and I don't know. Just glad to have you guys with us. So, that being said, if you want to further support the podcast, you can, as you know, subscribe to the Patreon at patreon.com/double_D. There you can access all my written work, including poetry, flash fiction, and full-length short stories. All for less than what you spend on a cup of coffee or lunch every day. You can subscribe for as little as $3 every day, and that would mean the world to us, guys. To further support the podcast, you can check out our sponsor, Bingley's Teas at janeaustenteas.com. There you can find high-end teas handpicked and mixed by the lovely Miss Julia. Or visit Julia in person at 118 East 26th Street, suite number 208 in Minneapolis to satisfy that deep tea addiction and to be taken on a tea tour of the world. All right, guys, let's jump into episode number 27. And actually, quick, I want to give another shout-out. Shit, man, I can't forget your name, but I was talking to a gentleman on Facebook.
And you forgot his name.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dude, I'm talking to like dozens of people every day, but you know who you are. I had a good discussion with you, and him and his dad run this like spice rub business. Oh, yeah. And they're gonna send us like a bunch of free spices and stuff to try it out. And
I like spices. So.
Yeah. I'm kind of excited to try it out and see what that is. And the cool thing about it is a lot of the proceeds that he gets from the business, he donates directly to the Bernie campaign. Oh. So
that's fucking epic.
Yeah, pretty cool. So I'm talking to him and going to talk about doing like a sponsorship thing where we'll pitch his products on the show for you guys to check out, and some of those proceeds he'll send straight to the Bernie campaign. So
nice.
Appreciate that, man.
That was one aspect I didn't realize.
Yeah, pretty neat. So look forward to that. Look forward to sharing that with you guys and checking out, and appreciate the conversations we've had, man. Seriously. So, first thing probably on everybody's mind here is Super Tuesday. Didn't turn out exactly how we wanted it to.
No, it did not.
But, I'm trying not to be super negative about it. I mean, Bernie did take California. Let's see, what else did he won how many states? 4 states, I think it was?
He won Utah, Vermont, and Colorado, yeah. Colorado is a good win too, but he was winning Texas the entire night, and then somehow Biden took over in the end.
Yeah.
And then Massachusetts, I would say, was the big shocker. Like, it makes me sick. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
The fucking guy cannot form a coherent sentence. Take all the weird shit that he says aside. Go watch some of his speeches. He'll literally he'll say a paragraph worth of dialogue, and you don't even know what the fuck he just said. You can rewind it and listen to it again. It makes no fucking sense.
Yeah.
And this is the guy you want to take on Donald Trump, who's like a roast master, who makes
Dude, I know. If he ends up winning the nomination through all the fuckery and whatnot, it's going to be another Donald Trump presidency.
Because here's the thing, obviously it deeply helped to have Klobuchar drop out.
Yeah.
And Pete Buttigieg drop out. And Warren staying in hurt Bernie in Massachusetts especially.
Yeah.
What an embarrassment that she got 3rd place. She should have dropped out.
3rd place in Massachusetts,
after New Hampshire, but
nonetheless.
she should have dropped out after Nevada.
Yeah.
Should have dropped out after South Carolina.
Yeah.
And I won't be shocked if after she dropped out now, she endorses Biden and becomes his VP pick.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I'm really hoping that, first off, we talked about this a little bit, Johnny, but all these people dropping out at once, it's like, if you were ever on the fence or had doubts about this being all one great scene of pageantry on a theater stage.
Exactly.
It's quite clearly, dude, it'd be one thing if one of them dropped out or something. They'd be like, well, they just talk to their advisors and they're like, okay, yeah, this is a waste of time. Just stop, because it's going to make you look bad. And if you have a political future ahead of you, you don't want to,
Yeah.
But first one, and then another, and then another, and then what? I think it was Bloomberg right before, the night before.
Bloomberg stayed in. It was Klobuchar the night before. Bloomberg dropped out after.
Oh, afterwards, yeah.
Which, one thing about Bloomberg, it's hilarious. He literally did terrible. Dude, people don't want to see your constant bullshit fucking ads. And I think the big mistake for him was going into the debates. He should have just acted above it and ran ads. I think he would have done better. Why?
Yeah.
What was he thinking going on to that debate stage? And then when it's like he didn't expect the peons to call him out for his bullshit. Because I'm sure in his circle,
Yeah, dude, seriously.
nobody would ever say the shit Warren said to him.
Oh no.
I don't know, man. And even if Warren drops out and endorses Bernie, a little too late.
Yeah.
And
That's the thing.
I don't want her endorsement to mean she has to become his VP. She adds nothing to the ticket. In fact, I theorize she hurts the ticket.
Yeah. Why do you say that?
Because people don't like her.
Yeah, she's ruined her. She's ruined her face completely with this whole shenanigan, all the backstabbing with Bernie. This incident with Super Tuesday.
She adds nothing to the ticket.
Nothing
And
at all.
I think she wanted to make believe she would get picked at the convention as this unifier candidate. She wouldn't be.
Yeah. Nobody wants her. Yeah, see, that's the thing is, as if she hasn't done enough trying to cause trouble with Bernie, like stabbing him in the back with that whole thing that went down on the debate stage, just one thing after another. And then she knows, she's seen her numbers, she's talked to advisors, she's seen how she's just gone whump, like tanked. And yet she also knows that she takes progressive votes, even though she's a liar and I can't believe you're falling for it. And she still stayed in Super Tuesday anyway. It's, you look at all the guys that dropped out, all the people that dropped out, boom, 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 boom. Clearly, that was somebody being like, this is what's going to happen. You do this.
But her staying in helped their dynamic, too. It's fucked up. And she had that super PAC last minute, which really wasn't a super PAC for her.
Yeah.
It was a super PAC to run ads against Bernie.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and the deadline to see who funded that super PAC is coming up fairly soon. Guarantee you it's big pharma executives, big oil, military-industrial complex. Guarantee you.
All the big players, all the guys that run the country, you know what I mean? And, yeah, so, like, you take all these people that already dropped out, clearly in quick succession, obviously, it's planned. You know what I mean? Oh, you drop out, I know it hurts your ego, and I know you want to run president, I know you think you're God's gift to the world, but trust me, go ahead and do this, and we'll make sure you get a good job afterwards.
So all you fucking idiots in Iowa who voted for Pete Buttigieg, you just voted for Biden.
Yeah.
Dumbasses.
Well, and not only...
knew that the whole time, but...
Yeah. And
same with Klobuchar.
Yeah.
Fucking idiots.
Yeah, seriously. And not only did you vote for Biden, in turn, because you voted for Pete, in turn for voting for Biden, you voted for Donald Trump. So good job.
The dumbest fucking idiot. Ugh, man. I don't even care anymore. I'm so done being civil with these fucking idiots.
Yeah, it's beyond the point. It's time to take the mitts off.
We're mean Bernie bros.
Well, I am a Bernie bro.
We share memes.
What? Yeah.
Because the fucking Bernie supporters actually are like people who know how to use the internet.
Dude, okay, so do you think maybe we should be a little nicer, though? Maybe if we were nicer, Johnny, maybe this wouldn't turn out that way. Maybe it would be more unifying. And
I'd say we were a lot nicer in 2016, too. It's just...
In 2016, you think so?
Until the fuckery started.
Yeah, actually, I guess you're probably right, because... there was definitely quote-unquote Bernie bros and people
No,
being
dude, no.
assholes on the internet,
I actually don't even want to go like, dude, it's a made-up narrative by the Clinton campaign. Yes, there's mean supporters, but dude, there's
that's with any
of every candidate.
Yeah.
I hate the Bernie bro narrative.
All right, yeah, fair enough. But I mean, yeah, the people there were what I'm trying to say is there was quote-unquote mean people on the internet in 2016. But yeah, it's gotten like way worse in 2020 because people are pissed from the last time. And they're seeing the same shit going on now, so it's like obviously they're going to be a double whammy. They're going to be more pissed. They're going to be throwing more shit at people, and it's like, but I like what you said though because it's 100% true. Hey, get out of here. Sorry guys, my daughter was in here. We thought we'd give her a little chance to be a good girl and sit in with the show.
That's not happening.
But she's
I told you, dude.
But she's being distracting, so she's going to go hang out in the other room, right? Yeah, go to the other room, all right?
Yeah. She caused her own demise with that one.
Okay. We'll try again next time, all right? Anyway, but yeah, there's tons of people on every campaign that are assholes. Like, dude, if I had a dollar for every time someone that was a Biden supporter or a Hillary Clinton supporter in 2016 wasn't only, like, mean to me, but, like, viscerally, like, just...
Yeah.
Terrible, dude. Like, cruel.
And I gotta say, what's with the 60-something-year-old upper middle-class white women commenting on Facebook posts that negative... They come out of the woodwork. The negative things about Joe Biden. They're like, stop it. We can't do this. And I get jumbled because it angers me so much that these people think you can't diss any of the Democratic candidates too much because they need to be able to go into the general election. Do you not understand that Trump is already running ads about Biden's cognitive decline?
Yeah,
dude.
It's
we need to go hard in the primaries, because if you can't make it through primaries, Trump is going to fucking fillet you, dude.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Johnny. I mean, you just showed me that thing where he was making fun of Mike Bloomberg. $700 million, and what did he get for it?
He acts like he steps off a stool and shrinks. And then, dude, it's comedy. It was a comedy.
It was hilarious. It was literally a bit, man.
He successfully roasted Warren in it.
Yeah.
Dude.
Pocahontas. Oh, dude, how about that? I think it was Babylon Bee, that article I sent to you.
Yeah.
It was Elizabeth Warren on horseback with a warrior
Goes
flag.
back to her tribe after the losing to the Palefaces. And
it was
it's fucking funny.
It was Warren goes back shamed to her tribe after failing to secure the lands from the Palefaces.
If you look at the location, you know how a story starts with the location?
Yeah.
It says Cherokee Nation.
Oh, no.
It was a good article.
That little bit of detail. Yeah. And it's funny because people are probably going to see that and call racism and all this bullshit. It's dude, it's fucking funny. Come off of it, man.
You know what? Trump doesn't say Native American, he says Indian.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just when I was growing up, my grandparents and older people said Indian, and it wasn't meant to be offensive, but it kind of...
It's not.
I say Native American without even thinking about it now, because I understand just the way Trump says it. It's got that racial undertone, you know? And he, knows it, man. It's fucked up.
It is fucked up, man.
But it makes me laugh. That's how I know he can easily win again.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people just laugh, and they're like, wow, he's awesome.
Oh, yeah. Well, dude, do people not remember the Republican debates in 2016 or whatever? Imagine Joe Biden on the stage with him. And Joe trips over his words he's going to do. And then Donald Trump's going to be like, Sleepy Joe. And then it's going to just be fucking hilarious.
I'm happy that it's going to be just Biden and Bernie in the debates.
Yeah.
Which I will say, Tulsi should have been allowed in, because the rules were... If you have one delegate or more, you can make it into the debates. But now, magically, they're changing the rules again, so Tulsi's fucked again.
Yeah. It would be awesome to see her and Bernie against Joe Biden, with Joe Biden right in the middle, and it would just be a freaking tag team on, they bounce things off each other, because they agree on every single issue, essentially, and they just go bam, 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 and Biden would be like,
I want to say
and he'd trip up even more.
To anyone watching that may have been bashing Tulsi this entire time, not saying she's progressive, she hasn't done anything to go against Bernie. She's only talked positively about him and only taken on the bullshit candidates. But she's the not real progressive.
Yeah.
It pisses me off. Because she has nuanced opinions and actually does, she goes against the progressive cause sometimes with her opinions. But normally she's
what,
right.
Though? But what? Because
she's willing to talk. She's praised Modi of India, apparently, when in reality, if you go and really look,
quote unquote,
she just doesn't talk major shit about Modi. He is the leader of India, and it's because she's Hindu that they latch onto it. I don't know, man. It just gets old, these little criticisms that people make, and when you trace back where the criticisms originate from, it's corporate propaganda bullshit. And then the progressive, it gets co-opted. Well, I'm just so angry about all this bullshit.
Yeah, dude. I mean, the thing with Tulsi, it's the diplomacy shit. Dude, if she's running to be, and we've talked about this probably half a dozen times, but if she's running to be the commander-in-chief and the head of diplomatic dude, really, the president's job isn't. I mean, over the decades and the centuries, it's become to kind of shape public opinion and lead the country in a direction. But really, when the idea of a presidency was founded, that wasn't the intention of what it was. The president is really, in a sense, meant to be the weakest of the three branches of government. The purpose of the president is just to lead foreign relations, essentially, and sort of serve as a medium between different factions within the government.
It's just fucked up that Tulsi has shown more courage and backbone in every way than Warren ever has.
Yeah.
Standing Rock, who was there?
Yeah.
Tulsi, who wasn't? Warren, the supposed Native American.
Yeah, that's
it's fucked up though, dude.
Yeah, it is.
And then fucking who's there with Bernie in 2016 and completely ruined her spot with the party.
Yeah.
She was the vice co-chair, was being groomed by the establishment to be their next big thing. And if you go and look before 2015, she was praised, she was loved by the media.
Oh yeah.
Even when she
what was her role in the DNC?
Vice chair.
Vice
she was
chair.
The
so
second
she's like the
to
second
Debbie Wasserman Schultz.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then yeah, she stepped down and like went full bore for Bernie, and it was this huge deal. And then now all of a sudden she's an Assad apologist and supports the fascist state that's developing in India and this and that. And it's like, dude, yeah, these people come after her for her willingness to discuss things with foreign leaders, and especially in the case of India, it's like, dude, India is one of the BRIC nations, one of the most developing powerhouses in the world.
The people criticizing her don't do anything against Modi either. He's the fucking leader of India.
Yeah. Dude, what are you supposed to do as a president or somebody who's discussing things?
And I'm not defending Modi. Like, she fucked up shit.
No.
Like, I actually saw a video on Facebook, and I didn't realize how bad it was going to be until I was already, like, pretty much through it. Mm-hmm. So, I don't even know how it was on Facebook, because it probably shouldn't be on there, because fucking kids should not see this shit. I thought it was just going to be a fight.
Well, don't they do the censorship thing now? Where it's, like, blurred out? This was
not even censored, dude.
They probably didn't get to it in time.
But it was two Hindus beating to death a Muslim. And, dude, it was fucked up. Like, I don't know. I thought it was going to be a fight, and then I realized, like, this was not a fight. This was just a brutal beating to death.
A legitimate
and it's not even that it was gory or something like that. It wasn't at all. But they, like...
Well, you just witnessed an outright hate crime,
they kicked his head in and then jumped on his chest. It was fucked up.
Holy shit. Sounds like something our friend Taz would watch in his spare time.
Right.
Imagine if you showed him that, though, because Taz is Muslim. Shout out, Taz, if you watch the show.
It's not good.
He would lose his shit, dude, because he gets... You know, some of those old world hatreds, man, it's wild because...
It's like in their DNA.
Yeah, dude, it is. And it's wild because, like, we have a good friend who's from Pakistan and great guy and everything, but, you know, those old world hatreds he brought over with him were, like, the beef with the Hindus and, like...
Well, and you know
his
Matt's friend who's from India?
Yeah.
How do you say his name again?
P. We just call him P.
I just remember talking to him the night we all hung out for Matt's bachelor party.
Yeah.
And, like, he has the complete opposite views of Taz.
Yeah. And you can see
say,
how it's like.
When I hear Taz and him talk, I kind of side with him a little more. It's fucked up. P.
Oh, really?
Like, when I hear the India side and all this shit, I'm like, yeah, you're kind of right. Like,
yeah.
The history seems to be more with India than Pakistan. Pakistan, it seems, kind of made their own shit up to... I don't know. I'm not an expert in this.
I don't know much about it. The main thing I know is that when things were going down with Gandhi and the liberation movement from the British Empire, they had this unified front. It was all going to be part of India, but sort of towards the last minute when the British were going to leave and stuff, the leaders of the Muslim movement were kind of like, well, we want to have our own country.
Yeah.
And you could say that it was religious, but, you know, also I don't know everything, right? But there was also money reasons. It's just with, like, anything with politics, man. So, yeah, it's pretty wild. And, like, God, though, you know, just coming back to how it would have been with debates, like, going into... It's going to be interesting now to see Bernie v. Biden. Do you have any thoughts about how that's going to go?
I will say, though, one negative thing is, like, it's going to be a while for this next debate, and a lot of more states vote until the next debate happens, whereas last time...
I wonder if that was intentional.
Probably. Dude, I don't know, man.
Dude, they have everything down to a science in a weird way. Like, they have, like... With all this stuff where they had so many people running, like, that was part of the plan, then all these people dropping out, like, and then they have, like, all these eventualities, like, if this happens and Bernie wins in this way, or something happens with this, and then we'll branch off this way.
Of genius people, like, literally, like Pete Buttigieg's, like, smart-ass people.
Yeah.
Like, probably doing math, like, we can fuck them over here, and we'll get the... Like, this is what they're doing.
And then, like, looking at the history books and being like, back in 1967 with this primary for this state senatorship, we saw this, and we can apply that to here.
Fucked up.
And then there's just the fucking corporate guys, like, smoking cigars and drinking scotch and being like, all right, that sounds good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they have this whole system. And, you know, getting back to Super Tuesday a little bit, you know, you were really bummed out. You even kind of took the day to unplug, and we talked a little bit about everything. You described it as it felt like this bubble of momentum popped.
Yeah.
And now it's had a lot of people discouraged and kind of, like I said, shut down that steamroll, running the engine hot that we felt. And I definitely feel that to a degree. But at the same time, I don't feel like the momentum's not all gone.
No.
You know what I mean? But
And the thing is, like, I don't know how Biden exactly picks up momentum, because we're just, like, we just saw that video where veterans confronted him.
Yeah.
And they're like, my friends died because of your policies. And then he goes, so did my son.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, your son died from a brain tumor.
Yeah.
And I hate that. He uses his son's death for this, like, sympathy shit. It's really fucked up.
Yeah, dude, it is.
Like, we get it. Your son fucking died. That doesn't mean I should vote for you anymore. And I don't know. It's disgusting.
Well, and he uses an out for any time he's backed into a corner, and it's just gross. Yeah. Like, I imagine, like, if I did that with my daughter, it's like, what the fuck is the matter?
Like, if someone close to me died, I would never want to bring it up when someone dies in some sort of way like that. It's fucking disgusting.
Yeah, to use it to your own, like, self-defense is just terrible,
and
man.
It'd be one thing if his son was killed in Iraq.
Yeah.
Because then he'd be like, I know my policy on my son. But no, I think his son might have served. I don't remember. Like, this was his non-fuck-up son.
Yeah.
And I do think he, like, loved that son deeply. Because their son's, like, a cocaine addict fuck-up. But, I don't know. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, before we started recording, we were kind of joking about, like, because, like, Joe Biden goes on these rants about corn pop and his hairy legs, and obviously he's just a loony. And I just imagine with that altercation with the veterans where they're like, your policies killed my, whatever, my friends. And he's just like, so did my son. But he's, like, lost his mind, so he, like, thinks his son died in Iraq because he's senile. I just think
he, like, was processing, this guy's talking about someone dying, and he wants to, like, use that, be like, because he uses that to relate with people, too. It's just weird.
Look,
man.
I'm a human being, and
Obama's doctor just came out and said that Joe Biden's not a healthy guy.
Really?
Yeah.
When did that happen? I haven't heard anything about that.
Yeah.
Not a healthy guy is in what way? They know there's serious
Well, dude, I just read
issues?
something else, but this was like a meme capture. It looked like it was from a legit article, though, and from 2013, and said that Biden had experimental brain surgery for the aneurysms,
What?
And there was only a 50% chance that he would be normal, like, after.
Oh, no shit.
So, yeah, man, and why is the...
So almost like they maybe lobotomized him.
Here's the thing. I've also read something that supposedly Biden's had a stroke. I don't know if that's true. It sure seems like it.
The way he talks,
But I cannot verify. I haven't looked into it. I probably should have looked into it more.
You know what? Maybe we should, after this episode, maybe we should look into that a little more and then try to touch with you guys again. On it. You know what? Actually, yeah, we'll do a little research of our own. But if you guys can do a little deep dive and want to share some information, if you have any at all, in the comment section, let us know. Because, I mean, there's obviously something, I've said it enough times, there's obviously something not right with the guy, man. And I wouldn't be surprised if maybe something with that surgery, or if he did have a stroke or something. But yeah, like, so we were obviously...
Just imagine him as president, man. It's fucking... I mean, it'll never happen because
Ronald Reagan 2.0, like I was saying.
Even if he somehow got in, he will just be probably the biggest puppet we've ever had as president.
Yeah.
Like, worse than Reagan, I think. Because Reagan was just starting to get on the decline.
Yeah.
Seems like Biden's already worse off than when Reagan was towards the end of his presidency.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just rambling. I don't know how bad Reagan really was, but
well, he was pretty bad, man. I mean, dude, you've seen videos of him.
Yeah, but man,
and the thing is, even without him being on the mental downward slide, he was an actor that they chose to fucking do the bidding of the corporate state. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but that's every fucking president.
I gotta say one thing about Reagan, though. I think as a person, all his politics aside, he was a better human being than Joe Biden. And I don't say that lightly.
Yeah.
I think he believed his own bullshit a little bit. I think Biden is just...
I don't think he actually cares. I think he's a careerist. Yeah, that's just speculative. But yeah, with Ronald Reagan, you kind of... And who knows, it's not like we knew the guy, but you get a sense that he actually did care about the country and had pride, and all the brass heads and suits in
when
his
he was
head.
President. I'm sure he thought he was epic.
Yeah, and just all the people in his ear, like, he didn't know what the fuck he was doing, and they just kind of led him down this path of whatever would make things profitable for the MIC and the corporate state and stuff like that. But, with Super Tuesday, I know it was super discouraging. We said the worst case scenario was he was supposed to win 8 states. But I haven't lost all hope, and I know a lot of us haven't either, and we're gonna keep fighting. But obviously we know a lot of this was planned with, like, everybody dropping out and whatnot. But I know you've been kind of getting into things, although you did unplug a little bit more than usual. What else was going on? with some of these wins, because like, you know, the way that you kind of were talking to me about the numbers and shit with Minnesota, it doesn't add up.
Dude,
he was trailing.
The Massachusetts exit polls showed Bernie winning.
Yeah.
And if exit polls are off like that in other countries, we fucking say that shit's not on the up and up. But here it's fine. It doesn't really make sense to me.
Yeah.
Minnesota, Biden was like polling like way shitty, and then somehow I don't know, man. Who knows, dude?
Yeah.
I don't trust the integrity of our elections. Like, I think
really don't either.
you're dumb to trust the integrity of these privately owned voting machines.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then another thing, California, like fucking a shit ton of machines were breaking down.
Yeah, how does that happen, man? In the most powerful country in the world, the most stable and truthful democracy city on a hill, how do voting machines not work properly? For God's sakes. The whole system is supposed to be ran on democracy, but you can't get the machines that are supposed to count the ballots of democracy to work properly?
And then even if they work properly, they might be fucking, the coding might be to fucking make sure it has a direct outcome no matter what you do.
Yeah. Yeah. And
it's the dumbest thing ever, man.
Yeah, it seriously is.
And I do give Bernie a little bit of credit because he knows the Russia narrative is a lot of bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
He turned the Russia narrative into saying we need to prevent Russia from interfering in our elections and we need paper ballots.
Ooh,
and I was like, that's fucking genius.
That's a good move,
That's
dude.
a spin. Because then they have
that could catch.
Because then the establishment's like, no.
Yeah, we don't want to. No. But they're safe.
But Russia.
That's true, man.
It's funny.
That's a genius fucking move, political move right there. So getting a little less conspiratorial about Super Tuesday, you know, in regards to Massachusetts specifically, you know, Jordan kind of talked about this in the Entitled Millennials group. You know, he mentioned like the fact that was Warren's state may have, you know, kind of split the progressive vote a little bit. Yeah. And do you think that probably played a role as well?
I mean, I think Bernie would. Most of the smart minds I'm hearing politically are saying that if Warren hadn't been in, Bernie would have won Massachusetts for sure.
Yeah, I think that's probably true. And that's all part of the plan too. And it's like I just imagine what's going on with Warren, because like I'm sure you've heard these rumors that she's going to drop, you know, or she's dropped out, but that she's going to endorse Bernie. What do you think about those rumors? Are they just rumors?
I mean, at this point, you should have dropped out before fucking Super Tuesday.
Well, sure.
And it's like, I don't know, man. Everything she's done tells me she's going to endorse Biden and be his VP pick.
I mean, that's the sense I'm getting too.
Guess. If she doesn't, I'll be shocked.
Well, I'm just wondering, like, where the hell did these rumors come from? Because you have to wonder if there's any legitimacy to them at all. It's probably somebody, maybe not even higher up in the campaign, but a little bit of a grapevine thing where somebody in the campaign heard this was going on and then they kind of relayed the information. But it's like, yeah, if you look at everything she's done and the fucking several knives that she's stuck in the back of Bernie Sanders, it's like she's probably going to endorse Bernie, dude, or Biden, dude. And it's like, what the fuck?
It doesn't even look like it. I just don't want to see her be Bernie's VP pick for the endorsement. I don't think it helps him. And honestly, I think it hurts him to even make her VP, because it makes him look like, why would you do that?
Even like politically, like trying to,
like, she just tried to fuck you and you're going to make her your VP?
I mean, the only reason why I could see it is like he probably knows he needs the delegates and he's making a compromise.
Secretary of the Treasury, make her that. Mm-hmm. I would be all right with that because she's actually good on the banking regulations and shit. Like, that's one thing.
Okay.
And I don't think she's getting money from Wall Street in these super PACs. She's getting money
from everybody else.
From Big Pharma.
Yeah. And
shit like that. So she's corrupt in that angle, I think. But
okay, so
I don't think the banks like her. I don't think she's done anything to warrant.
I mean, you know, but you also talked about her maybe being a shill, the fact that she was Republican and that, you know, she's just kind of built this persona in order to fool people.
There's this channel called The Progressive Voice on YouTube who, like, I kind of like him, but he's kind of, I don't know, he just kind of, he kind of regurgitates. He doesn't, I don't know, he kind of falls in line with bullshit, but I'm not going to go into that.
Okay.
But he shared a video, like a former colleague of Warren said that Warren's a secret Republican. And,
yeah.
And I mean, she was speaking at the Federalist Society in like the 80s or the early 90s.
Yeah, well, that was when she was still a Republican though, right? You know?
But she was like 40-something.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not trying to defend her, I'm just saying.
No, and I know you can change, but
But, you know, that's the thing.
Hard to believe.
Fucking, yeah, and then her track record recently kind of tells me, like, probably not going to be the case. But, you know, like, despite the fact that Super Tuesday definitely How did the delegate count end up?
They're still counting. California is not even done counting yet, from what I understand.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge state, right? But
I don't know, man.
But it looks like we're
pretty much even with Biden. He's a little bit ahead, though.
A little bit? Okay.
Last I saw, by over 100 delegates, but I think in the end it's going to be less.
Yeah, it's definitely going to...
I mean, I haven't fully been looking into it just because I know... I don't know.
Yeah.
It's fucking ridiculous.
So, yeah, all I know is it's going to be interesting to see Bernie go up against Biden. And, you know, we were kind of talking about how scared the establishment must be to drop out all these other candidates. I mean, it just seems like they're on the run. Like, oh, fuck, like everything else isn't working. Let's try this now.
Yeah.
And the one thing that gives me hope, despite this setback with Super Tuesday and despite all the fuckery that we know is going to come, the fact that the establishment is putting all of their eggs in the Biden basket tells me, like, shit, like they really are on their last legs when it comes to trying to do this shit. Because he's such a loose cannon with his mental instability, like anything could happen that would seriously tank him. Because even the dummies, if they see something stupid enough of a fuck up, they're even going to be like, oh, what the hell? You know what I mean? So anything can happen with these debates. But like you said, that next debate isn't until like when? A couple of weeks from now, and there's all these states that are going to be voting.
And then I just saw the governor of Michigan endorse Biden.
Yeah.
Who she's a piece she was a piece of shit in the primaries.
Mm-hmm.
It should have been Abdul El Said or whatever.
Yeah, we talked about that before.
And Bernie fucking helped in the 2018 to get her elected once she won. He was behind it. But it just shows, man, helping out these sacks of shit isn't going to get us anywhere. There's fucking
no
backstab you
at all,
There's
man.
no loyalty at all.
No, they don't care.
That's
it's
why
a career
even J.D.
opportunity.
Scholten, dude, where's he been for Bernie?
Yeah. No.
Sucking up to... Going and fucking... I fucking hate these people, dude. I'm just so sick of it. Have some fucking integrity. You're not going to win.
Mm-hmm.
In fucking rural Iowa, people are just going to not show up for you if you fucking sell out, so...
Yeah, you have to actually have a strong message in order to get these people that historically vote Republican. Like, they need to actually... In order for them to believe that you're a populist that's on the side of the working class, you need to actually be a populist.
Because, dude, if you can do what, like, Bernie does or what Paul Wellstone did, you can get some people who may not even like you, like, agree with you on everything, but they know where you stand, and they believe you, so they'll vote for you because the other guy is a bullshitter.
Yeah.
But if they think you're full of shit, too, you're fucked.
Yeah. Yeah, man. You know, I just want to... I wish, I mean, obviously the people on our channel are like super progressive and we're not going to have any Biden supporters listening to this show, but like, I just wish I could ask somebody, you know, like, why would you support, like, what is, like, I wish I could see what the mental process is.
Dude, they're just brainwashed by the corporate media and they have this diehard loyalty to the party in a way that it's cult-like Trump supporters are cult-like.
It's Kool-Aid shit, bro.
And it's funny that the Bernie supporters get accused of being cult-like. Meanwhile, if a progressive or if Bernie does anything that seems like not with the progressive cause, people get pissed. Almost too pissed to the point where, like, they're willing to never support the person again, even though everything they do is good except for this one thing.
Yeah, man.
Which I think is bad in the opposite direction to be like that sometimes.
Yeah, anyway, you don't want to necessarily be like that.
Progressive people are the most informed I've encountered, and obviously they're not a monolith. Everyone's a single, like, you know what I mean? But overall, they do the most research into the bullshit. And
they know the campaign finance. They know the issues. You know, sometimes they can be swung one way or another, but they at least make an effort to be informed and come up with their own conclusions. They're not just listening to what somebody tells them. And I've had people, like establishment people, come out, and I'm like, dude, you need to stop listening to MSNBC. You need to stop listening to corporate media. And I explain to them, like, how these things are all owned by the same people with the same money and the same message to try to dilute you and turn you away from what's actually going on. And then, you know, like that Logan Benson guy, he's like, I would say the same to you about the Young Turks and shit. And it's like, dude, it's not even remotely the same thing. It's like, one, we listen to like 10 or 15 of these different channels of
And to be fair to that,
YouTube.
I don't really even listen to the Young Turks.
No, me either.
I agree. They kind of fucking are trash anyway.
Yeah, but it's like, no, we listen to all these different people that sometimes have a little bit of a different, and like in the end, dude, the paper trail's there on the issues. There's paper trail on where they get their money, on their campaign finance, how they voted. Like, it's not partisan. at all in any way, man. And have you ever had an encounter with a Biden person recently where you like brought up his like faux pas of being straight up brain dead on camera? Have you had any interaction with people about like that? Because it's like,
I mean, I have months ago, but at this point, dude, like I just there's nothing to say to these people. Like I don't know, man. They're fucking something that ain't right in their heads.
Dude, I'm just wondering, like, I think I might do a little experiment to see like what the response is. Like, send them.
Call you a Bernie bro, dude, and they shut off, and they usually block you. Once you start dropping facts. Like, that's just what happens.
Yeah, I know. God, dude, I'm so glad I'm not like that, man. I just couldn't live, man. Like, you can literally see the fucking.
It must be nicer though, in a weird way. It must be blissful.
Ignorance is bliss, as they say, right? But yeah, I just don't know how you could show. You can be shown like a video of him just straight up blabbing nonsense, incoherent, confused, like he's a downing dementia patient in the evening, and then be like, yeah, that's our guy. And you know what? Like, dude, I want Bernie to win and shit, obviously. But man, if he doesn't, it's gonna be amazing to see Donald Trump tear Joe Biden apart. Like, I genuinely look forward to it.
And you're a sack of shit for saying that. But dude, if we say we do get Biden in, right? Mm-hmm. First off, if anyone hurts down ballot fucking racist, it's Joe Biden, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. So we're probably going to fucking lose the House again. And I wouldn't be shocked if fucking Republicans get to control the Senate and the House under a Joe Biden presidency.
Yeah, you're
which
not going to
happen
get...
under Bernie. It's not like... But I'm just saying, I
don't think it would,
happens under Biden. And then Biden already sides with the Republicans enough as it is.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just like... It's just going to cause a even worse right-winger than Trump to get elected afterwards. A guy who does the Trump bullshit, has the funny rhetoric probably, but he's going to be a lot more intelligent on how to get things done that Trump I don't think is.
Yeah.
I think the main thing with Trump is he just wants to be president. I don't think Trump's
it's all ego to a degree.
I don't think Trump's this pure evil monolith who wants to see the downfall of America and turn it into this fascist state. Like, I just don't think he's that calculative about it. I think his main thing is just...
I want to be the center of attention. I want to be the president.
Yeah, and I do think weirdly deep down Trump, like, wants to do things to help where he doesn't shake the boat. You know, I think the main thing with Trump is he doesn't want to take shit on like a president should.
Yeah.
But we're going to get someone who probably does want to see a fascist state.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. And that's what's scary. And I'm so glad that you brought that up because this is what this is all leading to. And, you know, I think in our last episode we ended it with those who make peaceful revolution impossible.
Those who make peaceful revolution impossible make violent revolution inevitable.
And dude, there's a lot of truth in that, man. And the same goes in the other direction. And here's the thing. That's what you said. That is what is scary about Donald Trump is the precedent it sets.
Yep.
Because politics is always a personality game, but him being in office truly makes it a cult of personality about who gets elected president. And like you say, we get somebody in 4 years, 8 years, even maybe it'll be 12 years that has the same sort of like caricature as Donald Trump. But it's actually the caricature that Donald Trump has is legitimately himself. It's his ego in full expression. But we could get somebody who he just changed the game about what can be done to be president. You get somebody who has perfected that caricature, but underneath he's either a theocrat or like genuinely a national socialist fascist that has this vision of America where those camps on the borders that were locking up children, separating children from their families and all that stuff actually become genuine. Like, dude, it can happen. Yeah. And you'll have the vote of evangelicals and you'll have enough people that are either too scared to do anything or too dumb to even think anything's going on.
Yep.
And it just...
Because we have the propaganda machines in place to help push for it.
It's all there. It's already all there, man. And it's scary to see how it could go. And, dude, two things about where this has already happened in history. And I know people are sick of hearing... Okay, and I know people are sick about hearing, you know, how Donald Trump is Hitler and shit like this. But in the Weimar Republic... after World War I, when Germany was going through all this shit, their economy was in the tubes and the stock market crashed and it was even worse. And we started to see people not just like Hitler, but all these different like radical people of character start to gain and consolidate power within the Weimar Republic because of all the issues, right? There were people that were so desperately upset. They had no money, they had no home, there was no jobs, there was no hope. And then these characters like Hitler that were not the establishment, they were the opposite of the establishment. People believed them. Oh, this person seems genuine, and they gravitated to them. And then it created this divisiveness, this polarization, which got worse and worse and worse and worse, which inevitably ended up leading to violent clashes between communists or the National Socialists or even the people that wanted to go back to having a king. And it just created this environment of toxicity and polarity that ended up culminating with the election of Adolf Hitler as a form of appeasement. And then it keeps going, it steamrolls, people buy into it, and then you end up in a catastrophic state where you pretty much have a dictatorship. This shit didn't happen just overnight. It took all these different factors, the same similar factors that we're seeing here now, and decades of shit not getting done on the end of the working class.
And we just got so many people that will help usher it in willingly.
I know, man. I know. That's the dangerous part of this polarization. And people blame us for being polarizing. Dude, meanwhile, we're the fucking voices of reason in this shit, dude. Like, we're just saying, like, here's what we need to do if we don't want it to come to violent revolution or authoritarianism. Dude, I am a Marxist, and I am a socialist, and I believe in those ideals. But you know what I believe in more? I believe in the peaceful transition of power in gradualism. Mm-hmm. And despite what people think about us being radical or fucking Jesus Christ flipping the table of the money changers in the temple, no, we're just like, hey, this is going a bad direction. Let's raise it in here a little bit.
It's so small.
Dude, it is. Seriously.
And it has no power in the Sanders movement. It just doesn't. It's a very I went down on that bus to DC with like actual more radical.
Yeah.
Like a guy was wearing a fucking
Mao Zedong.
US fucking hat. Dude, those people are nothing. I don't know.
But dude, here's the thing, and you know what? I have interacted with many communists, and look, dude, not all of them are batshit.
Yeah, some of them are bad.
Some of them are. Okay? Like, where they straight up idolize certain communist leaders that did horrible things.
Yeah.
Now, look, in regards to Mao Zedong or even Stalin and shit, I'm willing to look at them with a nuanced view and, like, understand why they did what they did. I'm not going to sit here, especially when you put them side by side with our own war crimes and atrocities and bullshit. I'm not going to be like, oh, but we're, to me, it's the same game, right?
Yep.
But there are communists, and I've had conversations with them where they don't believe in violent revolution. They believe in Bernie's movement because they envision a long game, a future as technology continues to come along, and we increasingly do more socialist policies where not even in 100 years, but 200, 300 years, we reach a point where society will just naturally act in a more communist fashion where we have elections to decide how things are done in the economy and nobody has to go without. And I think that's a beautiful image, and I support them in that, and I view them as allies. Here I am giving this epic speech, but the thing is, there are the fucking wackos on that end. And this is what I'm talking about with polarization, where if we keep getting fucked like this, and when all we're trying to do is literally, what are we trying to do, Johnny, is save the infrastructure of the system.
Yeah.
Because we still kind of believe it could maybe work.
Maybe we should just burn it all the fuck down.
Well, that's how it starts to feel after a little while.
Yeah.
But the danger of that, of us not, and we talked about at the end of the last podcast, of not giving a dog a bone. If you don't give the dog a bone, eventually he's going to rip your fucking hand off.
Yeah,
and then what?
If I was like these wealthy elites who are really controlling a lot of shit behind the scenes, I would be making moves to give up some of our wealth to improve the lives of regular people so we can still have the control that we have.
Because, dude, you're still going to get your super yachts and this
you
and
can
that.
probably keep control when we get super pissed, but you're just going to make the world hell for even you. Don't you enjoy being able to walk down the street as an unknown wealthy figure and do the epic things? Like, aren't you scared if that shit collapses?
And fucking...
Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. They don't have a long game that they should. Or they do have a long game, and it's some bad shit, and they know some shit's about to go down, and they're just preparing for it. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah.
That's what it seems like almost, because they
Oh, yeah, that's dark, actually. But I don't think that's even necessarily the case. Maybe there's a few that think in that way.
Yeah,
but
we have no idea.
I think as a general rule, it's an addiction. It's a power addiction. It's a wealth addiction. It's instant gratification. It's a game, and they're hooked on it. But yeah, dude, it's like, it just doesn't make. First off, as a thinking, feeling human being, Johnny, it just doesn't make sense. Like, I want to build my wealth and have my business empire and this and that, but I want to help people. We're human being on this little pale blue dot suspended in a light beam, as Carl Sagan has. Like, why the fuck? So it's just right away, it's like, okay, these people are obviously not right to not think that way. But two, it's like, yeah, even if you just are an egotistical maniac, dude, you still got to save the planet because you live on it and all your money's on this planet. Yeah? And two, these people are well educated. They've read stuff about fucking, the Russian Revolution, the French Revolution, the American Revolution. You guys should be able to see the patterns that are developing here and be like, hey, because, dude, here's the thing. If there's a mass revolution, the system shuts down, there's a fucking civil war, some sectors, like the arms and munitions, will make a lot of money. Some financiers will make a lot of money from loaning money to, governments. But all the other industries are going to lose a lot of bottom line, brother. And there goes your bonuses in a crisis of World War.
That overrides their law. I don't know. It's something. They just don't. I don't know. It's depressing.
It's fucking insane, man.
And we're just simpleton, low-end, working-class idiots, and we can see this shit.
Yeah.
It's fucked up.
It's kind of interesting you say that, because that just kind of sent me on to, like, a little thought here. How fucking... Let's just take a step back. Let's get out of the trenches here for a minute with everything going on with the primaries and the fuckery. Mm-hmm. Try to get a little hopeful by the end of this. We'll see where it goes. But look at what we're doing right now. Like, these mics in front of us. You got your mic over there, right? Mm-hmm. And on the other end of this computer, there's 500-something people listening. Several thousand that will see it as it goes through Facebook and does its rounds and everything, right? How fucking crazy is it that we're living in this world right now? Like, dude, we're worker bees. You work at a restaurant. I work at a fucking store. And we're sitting here having legitimate conversations about class, about potential. Like, isn't that gives me hope if nothing else does.
Well, yeah, I don't
This cannot be silenced.
Oh, it can.
It can't, though, dude.
Censor the internet like
No. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, dude, because, dude, they can try to censor the internet. But I'm going to tell you something. If they censor all the major platforms, it'll just go to forums. It's never going to go away. The seed is already here. And no amount of crazy shit is ever going to make it go away. Because even if they beat it down, stomp on it, and burn it to the ground. Like when there's a forest fire?
Yeah.
And they wipe it, and then the 2 weeks later, there's little saplings? That's what this is, man. And it's hopeful to me to sit back and just the fact that we're here having this conversation. And we're just worker bees. 100 years ago in 1920, do you think, yeah, there was a labor movement, but it was nothing like this. They didn't even see it as clearly as we see it now. Yeah. 100 years before that, a lot of people had no concept of questioning the divine right of kings. Mm-hmm. And you've probably seen that meme where it's like, just like the peasants felt like it was inescapable, the power of the kings, it's the same way with capitalism. We live under capitalism in these current systems, but everything will change eventually, and that gives me some hope. I'm sorry, I just went on a little rant there, but it's just,
I don't know.
This
I'm far more of a pessimist than you are, so.
Yeah, well, and I think kind of the problem with that is you look a little bit more immediately. Do you know what I'm saying? And like, look, dude, I do get negative too. But I just look at the grand scheme of like humanity.
I look long term. I see a very dark long term as well.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
don't like to be like that, but I'm just.
Yeah. I do too sometimes, but I just look at the general. Look, here's the thing. The general trend of human history, it's getting better and better. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's going to continue. And there's going to be ups and downs along the way. Valleys and rivers and mountains and shit. But eventually we're going to get there, man. And just imagine a world that's fucking Star Trek and shit. And obviously that's a big pipe dream, but it is a beautiful thing to think about. It gets you out of bed in the morning, you know what I mean?
It is, but
dude, you know what? thinking about, this is off topic, but I kind of mentioned this to you, but I had this, speaking of like dystopian dark future, I had this dream the other night. So I have like extremely vivid dreams. Sometimes I'll turn them into short stories and stuff, but I had this dream that it was like kind of set in the near future, like 5 to 10 years, but it was like a dark future, right? Shit was fucked up, and I was arrested and extradited to like South Carolina for a conspiracy to commit acts of domestic terrorism. And dude, and I know this is just kind of off topic, whatever we're talking about, but it was a trip, dude, because like I had been on the run for like years apparently, and it was me, but like my hair was like super long, and I was all like, I had like a beard and I was fucked, and it was weird to like, because in the dream I had this moment where I looked in the mirror and I was just like, Jesus Christ, and I was all thin and like fucked up, and in the dream I remember like this helicopter wherever I was out in the woods or something, and then these like FBI type people with like the badges like came over a hill, and they're like, we got you, and I just like in the moment I was like, I stopped fighting and I was like, I just accepted it.
Yeah.
And then they dude, it was wild, and then they extradited me to South Carolina.
Why South Carolina?
I don't know why, but I just I know, dude, but I just remember South Carolina in my head.
Extradited me to Idaho.
Yeah. I don't know what the deal was, because maybe it happened there or something. But it was in a future where there wasn't really much rule of law anymore, because they gave me like this fox ass, it wasn't a real trial.
Yeah.
And then they sent me to this prison that was like all blacks, and I was like the only white person there, and that was like scary in itself, because it was just like they talk different, act different than me, and I was just this like skinny white, almost like old man at this point, like 40-year-old.
Yeah.
And the prisons were packed, and I remember like seeing visions of like poor people on the street, sick people. It was a fucked up world. So yeah, I do picture
what a dream.
It was wild, dude. Anyway, yeah, so I do picture the dark potentialities of the future as well, but fuck, man, I gotta get up in the morning and I gotta raise my 6-year-old, so I'm gonna try to be positive whenever possible. But I think we're kind of out of content already today, man. We a lot happened.
An hour of cooking food ahead of me anyways.
Yeah, a lot happened with Super Tuesday, but I mean, it's all kind of self-explanatory, and either way, it's kind of nice just hanging out with you guys and chatting for a little bit, and I think we went to a few little interesting spaces there. So
yeah, I thought it
was fun.
Podcast.
It was hard. We kind of sorry if it wasn't the best podcast in the world, because my daughter wasn't here. She told me I could trust her to be good.
Told you she couldn't be.
Hey, I gave her a chance. That's what you got to do. But whatever. And then we didn't have anybody to run the cameras today, so I kind of had to do it. But I think it went all right. Hope you guys liked it. If you haven't already, like the video, share us out to your friends, subscribe, hit the bell so you get notified. To all of our 530 subscribers, guys, thank you so much. Thank you especially to those of you who have been on the ground floor with us. You know who you are. Our first 100 subscribers that are still watching the show. It seriously means a lot, and it's been so much hard work, but it's interesting, Johnny, because I feel momentum building, and it's still going to be scraping by, like tooth and nail, but I feel things building. And if we keep working, we'll hit 1,000 subscribers by July 1st, and I think things are really going to snowball, man. So it's been a great journey with you guys so far. Seriously appreciate it. If you want to help us grow, if you want to help support the podcast more, you can subscribe to the Patreon at patreon.com/double_D. There you can access all of my written work, including poetry, flash fiction, and full-length short story. All for what you spend on a cup of coffee or lunch every day. You can subscribe for as little as $3. And actually, on that note, I was telling you about that wild fucking dream I had. A lot of my short stories under the $10 tab, I have these fucking wild dreams, and I turn them into like pieces of fiction. So maybe I'll turn that one into one for you guys if you want. To further support the podcast, check out our sponsor, Bingley's Teas at janeaustinteas.com. There you can find high-end teas handpicked and mixed by the lovely Miss Julia. Or visit Julia in person at 118 East 26th Street, suite number 208, to satisfy that deep tea addiction and to be taken on a tea tour of the world. All right, guys. As always, it's been nice hanging out with you. We'll see you next week. All right? Bye.